Stop chasing what's already here. Welcome to the mess.
On the surface she looks fine, but what's inside ain't always in line. Life is good, life is bad. She's a mess, but a happy one.
Hi, I'm littlehappymess and welcome to my podcast. Story time. Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Messness. I'm Nina and today I want to talk about happiness, joy, bliss, vision. Yes. So, I feel like I always start off with, we live in a society. And then everything's bad about that society. So I don't want to say that. There's a lot of good stuff about our society. Like, for example, the opportunity for me to provide knowledge like that or experience like that online and for you to watch it. So technology is something really great about our society. So I'm not starting off like that. But I would like to start off by pointing out something very important, which is we always seem to chase happiness. We always seem to anticipate it in the future without realizing that happiness is not an event in the future. It's a state of being, and it's really in the present and not somewhere in the future. So there's this whole what-if attitude around happiness. So meaning that if I get that job, if I find that relationship I've always dreamed of, if I can finally afford that house I've always dreamed of, then I will be happy. And I've lived in this, let's call it state for a really, really long time because it's just something that's generally accepted, that's taught and kind of like everybody lives in that. And I was always kind of like chasing happiness. So for example, okay, I will be happy when I finish school or when I get a good grade on that, or I always talk about the grades and stuff. I'm really ambitious, just in case anybody didn't notice. Or when I, get my first boyfriend or whatever it is, then I will be happy. And whenever that event arrived, I realized that, yes, it did make me happy for, let's say, a few days or whatsoever, but then it became part of who I was or like my journey or whatever, and I didn't appreciate it in that way anymore. And then I felt back to that, okay, I need something new where what I can anticipate, and then I'll be happy. So I always tried to find new challenges, goals, whatsoever that I can achieve, accomplish, and then I will be happy. So I was never really happy in the presence, or at least not consciously. Because, for example, you are happy when you climb a mountain, and not because you climbed the mountain, but because of the beautiful view, and that really brings you into the presence, like you don't think about anything but the beauty of nature in that moment. And that is also where happiness lies. Yes. So there's also something very important, which is that, future goals, visions are really important too. But our happiness is not tied to them. So we need both. But we can really achieve our goals, we can move towards our visions when we appreciate the moment, when we are happy with our life, with what we're doing, with how we're moving right now. Wisdom. So now the interesting part, the wisdom part. So like I've repeated 5,000 times now, happiness is in the now, and there's different ways to achieve being happy, but like happiness consists of three parts. So you either gain it through experience, you acquire it through growth, or you perceive it when you add meaning or when you do something meaningful. Experience is easy, so we take a roller coaster ride and then all the endorphins like pop over and we're all happy and like really blissful. But if happiness was only about those moments, about those experiences, about reaching a goal, going to an event, going on this traveling thing you always wanted to do, then we could just like attach ourselves to a machine that like I don't know, that would induce serotonin and adrenaline like all of the time, like and we'd be happy. So there wouldn't be anything to do, like we would just be blissful. But if we would experience that state all the time, we wouldn't do anything. Like we would just stand there and not do anything at all. But if you believe like you have a soul that's in a human experience, then you kind of know that your soul wants more than that. And another dimension to that is growth. So we want to genuinely grow. That makes us proud, that makes us happy. When we go out of the gym and then we like lifted more than we usually do, or when we go to this course and afterwards we know more, so we experience happiness through growth, through outgrowing old versions of ourselves, through like experiencing something new, but then growing out of that new experience. And the last and most important dimension is meaning. So when we serve others, when we help others, when we do something that we really feel called to do, that really fills us, like that makes us feel alive and complete, that really makes us happy too. So when you start following that calling that we all have in us, so that vision that we all see in front of us, when we, like add those puzzle parts to get towards our goals or our vision, and we add meaning to our lives, then we're really fulfilled, we're really happy. So happiness is important to, like, we should be blissful like all of the time. Obviously, bad things happen and then you're not happy. That's like part of the journey. But like finding back to a life or to routines that make you like genuinely happy is really important, even after like bad things that happened in our lives. And they will always happen in every life. No one's like accepted, or you know what I mean. From that, everybody has to experience stuff that like, that shackles us. But like important is to find back to what makes you happy, find new things, and then just live in that state of happiness. Like kind of like live in a playful way. So you don't go to work because you have to, but you go to work because it's kind of like part of the game, and then you work, but it's really playing too, because what you do, you really enjoy doing it, and then it's easier, there is not that much resistance. There is, you feel like aligned and you just do what you love, and when you do what you love, you are happy. There's no way around it. And like really practice being in this state, so really being conscious about our thoughts and like, does that really make me happy? How am I feeling right now doing whatever it is? And then maybe, like eliminating certain things, people, whatsoever of our lives, because we realize, okay, this puts me in a state where I'm not happy. And when I'm not happy, I'm not able to reach my goals and visions in my life, because being happy is required to get where I want to be, or to achieve what I want to achieve. But it's really something that, nobody can make us happy. Nothing can make us happy. It's like, it's a state of being. It's something that's there every day, and it's a choice too. So I can choose to live a happy life, or I can choose to be miserable all the time. This sounds so easy, but for example, it's a very simple example. So I was going around with my skateboard, and I was actually like on the pavement, so I was doing everything right. And then a car like crossed over the pavement, and the car driver didn't see me, so I like quickly jumped off the skateboard, and like luckily didn't get hit, but my skateboard did. And I was like pissed for a second, of course, but then in the next moment, I was so glad that it didn't hit me. Also, my skateboard, like, it still works. It's like a little damage, but it works. So I chose to like not let this event touch my happiness, because I could still skate home. I didn't feel any pain, like I wasn't hit and everything. So there was a moment, kind of like a testing, and I was like, no. But this does not influence my happiness. Same as like another example. Yesterday I was at the fitness studio, and I think all of you already know that I hate people who are arrogant and who think they're really good at something, or good at everything actually, but they're not. It like really like it triggers me, like I really hate this attitude. Anyway, there was a man who's been annoying me for a really long time in this fitness studio. And we were doing handstand practice. And I've been practicing this for a really long time. And I still can't do it, which really triggers me too. I'm only used to instant success. No jokes. It's kind of like a challenge for me. It's good though. Anyway, we were practicing. And then this man who's been watching me like all the time, every time, always seems to be next to me, and like these kind of people. And then he like came up to us and he was like, aren't you practicing this for like over a year now and you still can't do it? And I felt it coming up, but then I was like, no, Nina, my friend was there too, let my friend handle the situation. And he was like, yeah, we just like coming here, it was like kind of like making a joke out of it. And then he was like, yeah, but it can't be that hard. And then like he tried and he couldn't do it at all. And then he said, yeah, I know I'm pretty good at it already. I've been doing this before. And I was just like, man. And then, I felt the rage coming up. I really wanted to like go over to that guy and say something really mean. And I had like, I had the possibility to choose between 10 or 12 different options, and I felt like this is really doing something with me, and it's really pissing me off, but then I was like, actually this is like a poor little soul who probably doesn't have one friend, gets no attention from anybody. That's why he behaves in that way. And if I let that influence my well-being, my state of happiness, then nobody profits from it, especially not me. Like, I just think about something that's really irrelevant. Like, this situation doesn't matter at all. I just got an email. It doesn't matter what the man thinks, what he says, whatsoever. I have so many more important things I can focus on. And then I let it pass, and I went back to the state of happiness. So this is a really long story, or it was a really long story, but I think you get what I mean, because this is a situation pretty much everyone can relate to, because there's always people who piss us off, or situations which annoy us. But like, get annoyed, like 5 minutes, you're really sad, you're really mad whatsoever, and then you move back to what makes you happy. You move back into that state where you can focus on what's good and where you want to go, what you want to achieve, turn to people that you love, and really embrace this state of happiness, so that we can all create a world where everybody can pursue their visions, their goals, and create a better world. Further material. So everything I've been saying so far comes from, or like a lot of it, from a course I'm doing right now on Mindvalley. It's a really cool platform. I'd recommend it to anybody. There's so many great courses on it. Right now I'm doing the, I think, Be Extraordinary course it's called. And it's amazing. And then also I've been watching a video series yesterday. It's like a 30-minute video series consisting out of 8 episodes, and it was great. I forgot who it was from, but I'll put the link in the description. It's really short and nice graphics, so it's really nice to watch. and easy. Like it's explained in a simple way how to be successful. And then the second material I'd like to provide is a book. It's called A Monk's Guide to Happiness. You find it somewhere in that shelf, actually. And it's a really great book and also easily explained in a nice way and nice to read. Then I would also like to remind you guys that I have a blog now. Now is March when this episode like actually goes into the world. It won't be March. So never mind. I have a blog now and I post kind of like the written form of what I speak about on the podcast in the blog, but then also because I really like to do creative writing and like I have a lot of books in the shelf as well, where that's just journals where I write into, and yes, I share my writing in there, and maybe that helps you, inspires you, makes you laugh. Probably not, because they're always really dark, but you never know. Yes, so I'd really love you to read that. Then let me know how you like this episode. You find me on Instagram. You find me on Facebook. Comment, subscribe, like, you know the game. When you actually like engage with me, that's a way how I can, how do you say that? Earn something with my podcast too, which would be cool because then it's a little easier to do more episodes, to do them more professionally, to invest in more equipment. So it would be great if you like do what I just said. I'm not good at this. Anyway, I wish you a great weekend. I wish you to remind yourself how important it is to be in a state of happiness and to find your way back to happiness if you got kicked out of it. And yes, have a great time. See you next week.